Hello, it's me. Back for a review. First review in ages. And the review that I have promised. To Stu the Mighty Grimlock! Yes. This is it. This is my 4 Grimlocks review. 4 Grimlocks that I picked up at Auto Assembly this year. Just thought we'd start off with this one. It's not a toy, but it does count. It's a Grimlock. There you go. A Ford Cybertron Grimlock. Oh, yeah. Right. Decided I was going to get a t-shirt. And I had a look at the ones that was available. And this one just kind of jumped out at me. And I had to have it. You know. So, what's not to like about it? It's a cool t-shirt. So that's Grimlock number 1. Bing! Okay, so what about the toys? Well, I've got them here. I'm going to review them in order of size. So basically, smallest to largest. And I'm going to try and keep this review short and snappy. I know I don't do short and snappy, but I'm going to try my best. Anyway, Grimlock number 2. Classics Henkei Grimlock. Now, this guy was kind of a mini grail for me, picking up at Auto Assembly. I'd seen this Cybertron Big Brother that Dynastia Transformers, this Portuguese Transformer fan had been doing. This stop motion video. It's a 4-part. It's not 3. It's 4 parts. And the guy doing the starring role in it is Grimlock. He's brilliant. And the things he just does in this video is just absolutely awesome. I mean, in the first one, he doesn't really do much, first part, but, Black Arachne is using him as a vacuum cleaner. Let's see if we can get him into vacuum mode. Like that. And then in the part 2, he's running around, roaring at the mini Autobots, breathing fire and lasers, and next thing you know, he's doing sort of ballerina moves, and it's just absolutely funny as anything. And I saw it and I thought, I've got to have one of those. And I decided I wanted to get the Japanese Henkei one with all the shiny chrome all over it. And I'd looked on the internet, and you can get them from sellers in the Far East for about 35, 40 quid. Obviously, you have to pay the postage on top of that. And then there's the delay of having to, when you order something in post from overseas, you have to wait for it to arrive. So, you place your order and you have to wait 3 weeks for it to come. So, I was just hoping, well, if I see one at Auto Assembly, I'm going to get one. I did see the regular Classics one, the normal one without the chrome. And I could have got him for about 10 quid, but I thought, nah, I'm going to hold out. And then I just happened to spy this guy, boxed for 35 quid. Had been opened, but, still minting box effectively. And here he is, Henkei Grimlock, and he's great. He's got, head and a jaw that moves. He's got his dino arms, lots of chrome. Love this tail that goes from side to side. It's got 4 separate articulation joints in it. His legs kinda articulated. It's got a foot moves backwards and forwards. You've got kind of a double knee thing, and then you've got the bit at the top. The only thing in Dynamo, that's the thing. Yeah, the tail does come off if you're not careful. The only thing is this bit. Now his weapon, I've got his weapon, it's in his box. His weapon, you plug it into the top in dyno mode, but it sort of folds down, but when the legs are stowed properly, you can't put it away. So that's kind of a detracting point, the fact that he's got this thing sticking out of his top. Light piping. Oh yeah. He's got light piping in his dyno mode. Awesome. Transforming this guy is quite interesting. Let's see. unclip that. Split the legs. Spread them out to form the feet. Pull the legs out. Now he's got a kind of an interesting mechanic for his transformation. Because his legs are like on the same size of his body, so you know, there's his head. You got this thing that swings around like that and then pegs in, and the other one pegs in. And then there's that bit at the back. And there you have him. And I just, again, love the aesthetic on this guy. He looks absolutely awesome. Reasonable articulation. The ball joints on his hips are a bit loose, to be fair. When you try to stand him up, his legs spread and he collapses. The arms are a bit chunky. They do work. The only other thing is, part of his transformation, he's got this, like this chest swivel, this off-center chest swivel. It doesn't lock into place in robot mode, and that's probably one of the things that's not so great about it. But apart from that, it's a great little figure. Again, come on, there we go. Light piping. It's all about the light piping in this guy. He's got awesome light piping. Absolutely love this guy. He's awesome. If you haven't got a Classics Grimlock or the Henke one, the Japanese one, get him. Brilliant little figure. Fantastic. Oh, of course, his tail comes off. You fold that down and then he can wield it as a kind of a whip. So there we go. Grimlock number 2. Over here. Now, I've threatened this next Grimlock. I threatened to give it a slating, and I'm afraid I've just got to. This FOUR Grimlock is awesome. This FOUR Grimlock, slightly less so. This is the platinum version with all the gold chrome on it. Picked it up for 20 quid at Auto Assembly. I saw it and I thought, yeah, alright, I'll have one. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the aesthetic of this guy, right? Both in robot and dinosaur mode. Looks great. But when I finally got the toy in my hand and I started playing with it, it was like, oh my god. What's all this crap? What is this big gaping void underneath? It's like completely hollow, and the plastic is made from is like wafer thin, absolutely wafer thin plastic. You can hear it. It's just, and dinosaur mode. Let's just take the weapons off his legs first. Just take them off because we're not really reviewing the weapons. He's got next to no articulation. I mean, there's a little bit of movement there. You've got the He-Man, you know, he's got the light up thing. Yes, he's got you know, light piping in his head, but his legs, all you got is a little bit of I mean, this isn't supposed to move, this top bit. It's supposed to actually peg into the torso, but it doesn't. The legs rotate, they can go backwards and forwards a bit. And you can pose his forearms or on ball joints, and that's it. You've got this big, thick, chunky tail that doesn't do anything. And you know, I want a bit of articulation in my dinosaurs. You know, and that's, you know, a couple of the things that strikes against him. The next one is transformation. It's ridiculously simple. Come on. These stupid joints that the legs are on are ridiculous. They're a complete and utter abortion. I mean, you've got pivot, like 3 different separate pivots all connected together in one unit, and it's wank. It's rubbish. And, you know, I think I've fucked his legs up now. There we go. Oh, they sound horrible. And there we go. I mean, I was fumbling around with that for a bit, but his transformation's just rubbish. It's so simple. Basically, unclip the legs, pull them out. Arms, fold them out, twist them round, pull out the fists, drop back the head, job done. There's nothing to it. And he's not really got that much weight to him either. You know, he's quite lightweight. But it's these stupid shoulder joints here. I mean, these things are just, they're such an abortion of a joint. They could have done it better than that. They're just rubbish. They don't work. I mean, look. His shoulders do not lock in. They flop around all over the place. And it's just such a disappointment. As a display piece, in both to display in robot mode and bot mode, Dino mode, it looks great. It's a great display piece. And again, he's got the light piping. When my torch works. See? Got brilliant light piping in both dinosaur and robot mode. So you can't want for that. The gimmick still works in robot mode. Lights up his chest. But his articulation is... He's got it. He's got twisty legs. He's got... But these legs do not lock in properly. He has kind of got a double knee. Sort of ratcheted shoulders. These little claws have a tendency to pop off. So yeah, I'm sorry, but it's just such a disappointment. Such a disappointment. I've got buyer's regret. This is one of the 2 figures that I bought at Auto Assembly that I've got buyer's regret for just buying it and thinking, what a piece of crap this is. And strangely enough, I paid 20 quid for both of them. So, however, things are looking up for this guy because I've ordered one of these. The Iron Factory IF EX01 Dino Armour and Rifle set, which will fix a couple of this guy's faults. When he's in Dino mode, it will fill up the void, get these plates which go on. There's a number of different ways you can attach it. You can do it in such a way as it looks like he's got the fold-out plates on his shoulders, a la G1 Grimlock, or you can have him so that the plates actually transform and form in panels on the back of his shoulders. that will, you know, in my opinion, add a little bit more to his transformation sequence, make the transformation a little bit more interesting. Also, it fills in the massive great void he's got in his dino mode, and he also gets a spiffy little rifle, which you can have it sticking off his legs, or you know, use as a G1-esque rifle. So I've ordered that. When it comes, you know, FOC Grimmy here will be getting kitted out, and hopefully I will like him a bit better then. But for now, he goes in the naughty corner. So, last one. Now, I wanted to review this guy stock as I got him. Unfortunately, something happened the other night. I've kind of looked at this figure and I thought, well, it could really do with some paint apps. So I got it down at off the shelf. Well, this is the bank holiday Monday, so I got him down on Saturday night, and I was looking at him and saying, well, you know, if I was going to repaint this guy, how would I do it? And I think, well, if I'm going to get some paint in here, you know, he's got to come apart. So out come screwdrivers, take him to bits. And next thing you know, he's spread all over my bed. And then I'll pick up a part of him and think, right, if I just touch up this bit with a bit of paint. And next thing you know, I've virtually repainted most of the figure. And then the following day, I sort of finished him off and put him back together. So this video kind of doubles up as a reveal for my custom paint job on my Age of Extinction Voyager class Grimlock. Now, you probably can't tell here, but he's had quite a bit of paint work put onto him. Now, first things is look at his weapon. Bearing in mind, this thing's just black and grey plastic. I just couldn't stand the grey plastic on this figure. It was everywhere and it just looked naff. So I thought, well, I've got to have to cover it with paint. And this is what I've done to his weapon. The black part I repainted in satin black because it was gloss black. And then I've managed to find some old Humbrol gunmetal paint, which is probably about 25-30 years old. I mixed it up. It was like treacle to put on, but it's come out matte. It's kind of like a textured sort of gunmetal finish. Now, I don't think it's supposed to look like that. It's kind of like a matte finish, but it looks interesting. And I've basically painted the whole shaft and the spikes on the end of his mace. So that's his weapon. Grimmy himself, obviously I've got him in robot mode here. Let's move the light a bit closer. I actually painted his head. I painted the bit around the bottom of his head in gunmetal, but you can't really tell. The biggest difference is on his legs. Now, obviously, the lower parts of his legs were pretty much grey plastic, but now I painted them black and then touched them up with gunmetal details. Any bits, virtually all the bits on this plastic, this figure that were gloss black, with the exception of the fists and his breast and his sort of ab plate, I repainted with satin black paint to take the shine off it. I've painted his toes with gunmetal, his shoes, and these little vestigial dino arms are painted grey. Also, all the voids on his back, if you look at him on his back, basically all the voids I've painted with black paint. So he does look different, and you've probably noticed the other thing that I've done. All his claws and his teeth I've picked out in gloss white, which kind of makes him look a bit different. But I suppose really need to take this to Dino mode, so you can see what the other side of the coin looks like. And there we have my Age of Extinction Voyager class Grimlock in his Dino mode. Now, it does look considerably different. The main thing I wanted to do was all this grey plastic that was in here. I just wanted to paint it out because it just looks stupid, especially with these round sort of, you know, leg sort of his pivot things, which look like a pair of boobs sticking out from under his chest. But obviously, I've painted the claw. Like I said, I've painted the claws white. Now, some of you guys in the comments are probably going to say, "Oh, that looks stupid. That looks ridiculous. They really should have been painted silver." But I can repaint the stuff silver if needs be. I just thought, well, you know, claws and teeth are supposed to be white. I mean, especially his gob. The gimmick does still work. It was kind of gummed up the paint earlier. But yeah, I didn't get this guy at first when he first came out. I didn't want to get him because I just didn't like the look of him. I mean, he's got this big hump in his back for starters. I mean, that back line should be flat, and it's not. He's got this massive great lump, which is basically where his head is hidden. And the tail's not that great. It's just made up with his, you know, legs just pressed together. But with some extra paint apps, he does kind of look a bit better. All the grey plastic has been covered up quite effectively, and I like him better like this. It's my first sort of full-on custom job. I didn't. There's a lot of sort of marks, paint marks all over him, where I got paint on my fingers and was handling him and getting all paint marks all over him. I mean, I'm using enamel paints for the most part, and a lot of my enamel paints donkey's years old, and some of them are they're just like treacle, like really like gummy paints, like painted with glue. And yeah, he's a good little figure. I kind of prefer his robot mode more to his dino mode, to be honest. There's a couple of other things I was kind of wanting to do his fists in gunmetal, but in the end I decided not to, because, you know, you look at the back of his legs, his fists are right there, and it would have made them more visible. But if you want, I'll put some photographs at the end of the video just to show some details of this figure, how it's been done, so you can quote on it and tell me what you think. But no, he's a decent enough toy, and I only paid 18 quid for him, because I got him loose at one of the stalls. It was 18 quid. Saves paying like 35 quid for a brand new one. You know, that's part of the reason why I got him. And yeah, he's all right. He's not bad. I was kind of holding out for a deluxe Grimlock, but it doesn't look like they're ever going to make one. So yeah, Grimlock number 4. So yeah, there you go, 4 Grimlocks. Not much of a video. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think the same of you as well. That's my review. First review in ages. Thanks for all the, you know, people that have been subscribing to my channel. But anyway, I've done it, Stu. For what it's worth, I've done it. I've done my 4 Grimlocks review. So in honour of Stu the Mighty Grimlock, I bade you farewell.